At the end of the 19th century, water cures were in full expansion. To allow people taking the waters to carry on with their cure at home, the spas decided to bottle their water. Like in Vittel, the first bottles were stoneware bottles. It was an instant commercial success, and by June 1898, 1 million bottles had been made. The transparency of glass, however, was soon to take over. In the 1960s, mass consumption was in its heyday. To satisfy the ever-increasing demand, a new material, lighter and more economical, appeared on the market: plastic. A small revolution that brought the bottle to every single home.
Comme le commerce est l'un des moteurs de la croissance économique, mais plus que de la croissance économique, je dirais du progrès social, eh bien il faut que les objets, quels qu'ils soient, et surtout lorsqu'ils sont périssables, soient susceptibles de voyager. Et pour qu'ils soient susceptibles de voyager, il faut bien qu'ils soient emballés.
Better packaging and growth have always gone hand in hand in the bottled water market. In the early 90s, a high-performance plastic was introduced, polyterephthalate ethylene, known as PET. It's been the consumer's preference ever since.
But the reason for the PET is very simple, because consumers want to have the notions of purity, of preservation of the natural content or mineral content of the waters, the lightness, the transparency, the possibilities, the fantastic possibilities that you have in terms of flexibility with the PET. You can make very small formats, you can have sport caps, you can take your bottle everywhere with you. I mean, there's a capacity to do nearly everything with PET that was not possible before.
Today, PET bottles have been adopted by consumers worldwide. However, they've been at the heart of a growing environmental controversy. They're made from oil, they need to be transported, and they're often disposed of carelessly.
L'emballage est une nécessité. Comment faire pour réduire au maximum sa nocivité, tout en maintenant au maximum sa qualité principale, qui est d'assurer la sécurité de l'objet emballé.
For many years, Nestlé Waters has been getting a grip on this environmental question. In order to reduce its carbon footprint at its lowest, measuring first the impact of all the stages of the product's life cycle is fundamental. For each 1.5 litre bottle, it comes up to the equivalent of 210 grams of CO2 per litre. 55%, more than half of the bottle, comes from the plastic itself, from its manufacturing to its conversion into resin. What we actually do in our plants only amounts to 20%. That is converting, manufacturing, filling up and dressing the bottles. Transport accounts for the rest.
We strongly believe on the use of strength. We have been working on this front for a long time. We look for tailor-made solutions country by country. In France, where the infrastructure is developed, we have achieved already the 50% of the bottles carried to the customer by train.
C'est vrai que Nestlé Waters, aujourd'hui, utilise 50% de ses transports pour son eau, en particulier sur Vittel et Contrexéville, par le mode ferroviaire, ce qui est au rapport de ce qui se fait sur les autres marchandises exceptionnel, puisqu'il faut rappeler qu'en France, 85% des transports de marchandises s'opèrent par la route et seulement 11% s'opèrent par le mode ferroviaire.
This bottle of Vittel is unique. Vittel can only be bottled in Vittel because it's mineral water. The train goes into the bottling plant. The pallets are loaded directly from the production into the train, and then the train leaves to the regions where we sell the product.
The second conservation aspect we've implemented at Nestlé Waters is energy savings.
We have around 100 factories worldwide, and they're all basically making the same thing. So we do a lot of sharing of information. For example, just recently we brought the blow moulding experts from North America to the Vittel factory in France. So by making all these small changes day after day, year after year, we've been successful in reducing the energy consumption per litre manufactured by 17% in the last 5 years, which is quite a large amount.
On a des objectifs extrêmement
Nestlé and Nestlé Waters share one basic principle of continuous improvement. We must use less resources and less materials to manufacture the same bottles, still keeping the same quality and safety requirements for the customer.
In the Product Technology Center, we have dedicated a team to work only on packaging materials and sustainability, because in terms of packaging design, we traditionally, since many years, we are working on lightweighting the total packaging. So not only the bottle, but the pack and the pallet and the over-packaging and everything. We've achieved weight reductions of 20% in the last 5 years, and we've always continuously pushed the limits of lightweighting, and that's what we're proud about, and that's what motivating us to go even further.
The future probably lies in a new generation of materials, biodegradable plastics. From an industrial point of view, we know for sure that 10, maybe 15 years will be needed to find an industrial solution that will replace the PET. Our objective, therefore, is to carry on using this plastic for the time being, with all its benefits, its lightweight and recyclability. But I think the most important in the near future will be to make sure more bottles are collected. Depending on the consumer's attitude, bottles will be recycled or not. If this bottle of Vittel is not recycled, the impact on the environment amounts to 140 grams of CO2. Now, if this bottle is recycled, the impact on the environment goes down by nearly 1/2 to 60 grams. In other words, the consumer's attitude is essential.
Être recyclé en fibre textile, ça c'est pas mal, non? Encore de stylo, c'est quand même autre chose. T'es pas un peu un télo, toi?
B2P, le stylo de pilote, avec un corps en plastique de bouteille d'eau recyclé.
For when they are recycled, PET bottles have a second life. Uses of recycled PET are numerous and varied. Bottles are no longer wasted and become a new resource. And yet, in spite of growing economic outlets, today recycled bottles in the world only account for 1/3. And this is Nestlé Waters' main challenge: to heighten consumers' awareness of sorting through their household waste, and to help the authorities to develop ever more efficient waste collection systems.